Let's make sure we're all good to go here. Gameplay audio sounds good. And my audio sounds good as well. So hello people of the internet. It is I, Soulrack Dragon here, back with more Fate's Grand Order, where today the event's done, so we're just going to be doing some nice and chill interludes here. I will showcase how much of the event I have gotten done as far as the shop really quickly here. Still have the 3 and 5 star currencies. They're harder to farm just because I only have the 4-star currency CE. So yeah, but I am almost at 2 million points. Ideally I could get 2.5, but that's not looking like it's gonna happen. But yeah. I don't think there's any news. The Pilgrimage Festival... Oh, there is some news that I must have missed or skipped over. Sir, Ordeal Call Key Visual on... Okay. Wait. The Ordeal Call Key Visual? Isn't that, what's his face from the most recent Valentine's event? Bima, I think his name was? Or something like that? No idea who that is in the background, and, as for the one up front, I like the appearance. New trials await Novum Kelday after completing their operation in the 7th Lost Belt. Operation Ordeal Call begins. More details are coming soon. Overcome a multitude of trials as you travel the Bleached Earth. Face many more trials other than the Ordeal Call. Prepare for what awaits you at the end of your travels on this final journey. So the official release of the in-game Ordeal Call trailer. So it's on the official site. The official trailer is. And then just the broadcast station is going to be on this Thursday/Friday. And there's an ongoing campaign for the Pilgrimage Festival, which you get leaves of evocation that you can use to unlock various servants that were welfare. Looks like Quetz, Kentoki, and Shuten. Appropriate that Shuten and Kentoki are available at the same time. Very appropriate. But it looks like you can use them to get servant coins, primarily. Okay, that's not bad. It's not bad at all. Definitely need more servant coins after all. I do not need to get the dupes because I'm pretty sure I have dupes of everybody except for Quetz. And special daily login bonuses, which give the leaves and other stuff. But yeah, story clear missions. I might have those I can claim for a lot of leaves. Ember gathering, all have been unlocked. Yeah, not much really. It's kind of a... It's not quite a dead week, but it's close to a dead week. From here, we just have our monthly, or our daily stuff that we can claim primarily. Oh, there was some leaves. Boop, bop, beep, boop, boop. Bop, beep, boop, bop. Okay, there's a little bit more than I thought. Yeah, there we go. So that's all in the present box. I think the main thing bloating up the present box is all the CEs from Valentine's, which as soon as I get a super or great suck boost, I will be claiming. But the weeklies, claim those. Still have some of this week's. Limited times. Raise either Kentoki Rider, Shooting Caster, or Quetz to 10, and then 40. Oh, those were easy. I need to actually do some Ember Gathering quests, and Free quests! Okay, those... I guess I will have to do those at some point. I didn't even realize these were here, because I skipped over that. 12 quartz and a grail. That's actually very worth. But then, various missions for clearing all the singularities and such. Claim. Whee! Just out of curiosity, where do I claim these? Probably the shop, I imagine. Yep, exchange leaves of evocation. We'll get, so 48 coins total at a cost of 50, and I have 4,800. I could get 2 servants full stock of servant coins. So far. Hey, Andy, welcome to the stream. Howdy things. It's been a while since you've been in stream. It has been a while. I'm not a fake dragon. You have no proof that I am not a real dragon. No proof at all. But seriously, how have things been? It's been a little while, man. So to the gate, to the interlude. Looks like Brynhildr and Geronimo are going to be today's interlude contestants. Don't know who that is, but not that it matters. Brynhildr was the last main interlude that we did as well, so sequel interlude probably. Just checking these. Yeah, New Year's Mystic Code is going up at a steady pace. After New Year's, I think it's gonna be probably the Soya High School. Yeah, probably Soya High School. So Hawk is a fake demon lord, and I'm a fake dragon. Well, what kind of fake are you then, Andy? What kind of fake are you? If we're all fakers of some sort, that means you're a faker as well. Are you not a real Wobbuffet lover? That's right. I remember your original name. Alright, we won. Random Arash encounter. Random Serenity encounter. Yes, you've exhausted the enemy forces and suffered minimal casualties. Ooh, actually, this might not be so random. Arash and Serenity were servants in Fate Prototype, I think. The prototype to it, which was the war that Brynhildr was the Lancer. Proto-Arthur was the Saber. Arash was the Archer. Serenity, the Assassin. Paracelsus was the Caster. I don't know who Berserker was, though, in that. At least not off the top of my head. We might find that in this, though. So we won. We sure did. Nice job out there, Miss Lancer. Hey, Missy, you seeing this? Yeah, she seems to be a bit... She's kind of off her game, like her mind's somewhere else. Everything okay? You feeling alright? You're a fake Grandcaster since you are the Pretender class. I see. So you're not actually Andy, then. Because everybody knows the Pretender class is not actually who they appear to be. So you are just somebody pretending to be Andy. I see, I see. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh yes, I'm fine, Master. Thank you for your consideration, but there's nothing wrong with me. I'm operating within normal parameters. At least I thought I was. No, you're right. I'm sorry. I've had difficulty concentrating in battle. I'm worried that I've been holding you back. Would you mind if I took a leave of absence, Master? Andy was never your real name, just like a pretender giving a false name. OG Da Vinci! Mash's mom, essentially. I see. So she asked for some time off, huh? That is pretty unusual. Servants are supernatural beings, but their minds are still essentially human. You know, it occurs to me, we mainly see Romani in these interludes as a callback, not so much the OG Da Vinci. Kind of... It's refreshing to see the OG Da Vinci. I mean, Lolly Vinci's fine and all, but she doesn't have that same maternal figure that to match that OG Da Vinci has. OG Da Vinci is definitely more of a mom to Mash than I think any other servant, which really makes it tragic that, you know, Mash lost her dad in Romani and her mom in Da Vinci. Kind of tragic. Poor Mash. Actually, wait, isn't that how a lot of those edgy animes start? The main protagonist loses their dad and then their mom and then their love interest. Oh no, we have death flags. We're way more durable than any human physically, but that doesn't mean we're immune to stress or exhaustion. Plus, she's been doing her best not to bring up Sigurd lately, so that might be related. Nothing good comes of repressing your feelings like that, you know. She mentions him constantly, though. I mean, comparatively, you know how much more she used to bring him up. I only know what it's like to be a demi-servant, so my experience might not quite match Brynhildr. Even when I was regularly race-shifting singularities, I was always very glad to have some time off. Okay, so this takes place during the Epic of Remnant era, then. Talking with Senpai, eating meals together, chatting with Dr. Roman during my checkups. I enjoyed every moment of it. I don't know how much that downtime affected my magical energy or vital signs, but it was very important to me, and I'm sure it did me a lot of good, so... Even servants need their rest. Plain and simple. Understood. Message received. Right, Senpai. Remind me, is she spending her time in her room right now? Yes, she's been there ever since she returned from the race shift. Holmes definitely confirms Epic of Remnant era. I just so happened to overhear your discussion, and I must say that it does seem Brynhildr would benefit from something of a tune-up, as it were. Can you talk politics for a sec? Zahak challenged my grand caster clairvoyancy and asked me who'll be the president. He said it'd be Kamala, because some dude believes in his 13 keys or something. You clairvoyant A- and said Trump will win. I mean, that's fine. I don't talk politics personally myself. Sorry about that. Just dropped a metal fidget. I don't know where I found this. It's like it's a tool that can be used to tighten bolts, I think, made of metal, and it's been a little fidget toy, but I don't personally talk politics myself. I don't really get involved in politics myself. Everybody has their own political opinions, but as far as I know, as far as the betting markets were concerned, because I do have, as far as the betting markets are concerned, because I do have Robinhood, and, like, in the week leading up to the election, it was like, we're going to allow you to pretty much bet on who's going to be president, and anytime I checked my portfolio, that was always at the top, and Trump was, like, in the leads on there, so it's like, okay, if the betting markets are saying it, it's probably going to happen, you know. That's kind of as far as I will go on that matter. I was also a little bit on the stressed out train at that point, because that was sort of buckle down time for the last degree program I tried to get into, which ended up burning me, but I don't like talking about that either, because it reminds me of the dead week that I had experienced emotionally. So yeah, end of last year was very personally a little bit off kilter for me. I was not in the best of headspaces towards the end of last year. But yeah, I mean, clairvoyance indeed. Clairvoyance indeed. Not through Twitch chat, as that would imply that I know where you live, and I don't know where you live, so, and I don't think I'm allowed to ask the viewers where they live. If they just say it randomly, you know, I can't really do anything about that. But as long as it's... Okay, your country... Yeah, your country, that's fine. I think your country is fine. I'm pretty sure I could see that in my analytics. But why are we talking about tuning up Brynhildr? A tune-up, he says. What a delightfully tactless way to ignore everything we just said about heroic spirits needing rest. Truly, you are a detective without equal. Still, I guess Holmes does have a point. Brynhildr's spirit origin is something of a special case, even as these things go, since she was created by the Allfather of the Norse gods, Odin. She may have managed to fit into this servant container now, but she's still technically half divine spirit. I mean, Gil is a third divine. Don't ask me how Gilgamesh is 33.33 repeating % divine, because that's not how genetics works, but... Riots, because of 15 people that have deceased at a train station. Over 100,000 people were blocking streets last week. Damn. That's a lot. I mean, sadly, rioting is becoming a very prevalent thing. I mean, I understand that sometimes you do have to stand up for what you believe in, but depending on where the riots take place, you could be causing more harm than good. Like, especially with stopping streets, I've seen protests / riots, videos of them at least, where people are blocking streets and preventing ambulances and the like from getting through. And, like, if you're preventing emergency services from doing their job, I don't care what your cause is, you need to grow up. Frankly, that she's materialized like this at all is a miracle. A miracle? You understand riots, but really, they make songs about the riots. That's odd. Yeah, that's kind of... I mean, if you make songs about it, that's fine. As long as, like I said, as long as you are not impacting the lives, and... not the lives. The emergency services in a place, then you're fine. But if you're putting other people's lives at risk, directly or indirectly with your riots, then some dude saying everyone in the riot, and then say, please. That's weird. I mean, you know, maybe that's the thing with music. I don't know what the current trends of music are. The most music I listen to is anime music, to be honest. Like, I can't even tell you the last time I don't even know what new songs there are by popular artists. I listen to anime music primarily. Don't we see Divine Spirits all the time now? Hey, J6, welcome to the stream. Happy things. That's true. They may not make up a large number of the servants we see, but... it's easy to lose sight of this now, but the fact that there are so many of them is still miraculous. I suppose it's also true Chaldea's system for summoning heroic spirits is pretty special, too. I would say so. They are ghostliners, after all. That term refers to heroic spirits, a type of superior spiritual entity whose existence is comprised of records tied to humanity. Yes, we know what heroic spirits are, Holmes. Thank you. I don't know what Marina music is, personally. I mean, I do listen to some older songs, I guess that can be counted as old. It's just random songs, really. Like, it's random songs, mainly. Random and anime. And Christmas, actually. Christmas songs are the one kind of song I will turn on the radio for. After Thanksgiving, in my car, I don't care who's in my car with me. I'm on the local Christmas station, and I'm listening to Christmas music anytime I am driving. Harnessing their awesome power is one of the most difficult spells imaginable, even compared to the Clock Tower's evocations. Summoning spells in layman's terms. Not to mention that such power is a far cry from something like a low-key demonic beast or ghost summons. Heroic spirits are indeed rare and powerful. I don't think I've ever heard Stairway to Heaven. I mean, I know of the song, but I don't think I've ever heard the song. Oh, come on, I pressed log. And from there, when you delve into how their ether bodies are given form and personality nearly identical to their living selves, how could one call the results anything but miraculous? I should actually check to make sure my most recent YouTube video was not copyrighted or struck down or anything just because of the thumbnail. Well, now, you certainly know a lot about this, don't you, Mr. Holmes? Well, I can't take too much credit. It is one thing to know, but quite another to act on that knowledge. Oh, no. Looks like it's good. I have no comments on my YouTube channel about having what appear to be corpses animated. Granted, it is anime, so it might be fine. Although, is that thumbnail size a bit off? Maybe. I'll have to check that out. But we digress. Getting back on the topic at hand, the short of it is that Brynhildr is special even by our rather odd standards. Another local tournament. Local Pokemon tournament. A good master would be wise to pay some attention to her. Got 4th place. Nice. Congrats. And while I'm at it, I think I will give her Spirit Origin a tune-up. I didn't see how anything out of the ordinary at her last checkup, but you never know. Well, with Andy here, you know, it could have been Yu-Gi-Oh! You know. Ho ho ho! I see you're in quite the predicament. That voice. Attila the Santa! random Christmas thing. That's me. Ho ho ho. Just Santa Claus passing by. Random Santa. Your first opponent was a vet who played at Worlds. Damn. Did you win? Did you kick their butt? I see. Say no more. I understand. There is something amiss with that one, is there not? It seems she found herself in a difficult position. It happens to everyone sometimes, I think. That is why I'm here now. Yes, even though it is not yet that time of year, Santa Claus is coming to town. I definitely did not know this was happening, considering I talked about Christmas earlier. I definitely did not know that we were getting a surprise at Altera's Santa appearance. Brought into Game 3, but you messed up on turn, so you lost. That sucks. That's why I'm here now, yes, even though it's not yet the time of year, Santa Claus is coming to town. Are you back in your Archer Spirit origin? Please don't ask about that. I'll go back to my old self if I lose my concentration. Please be nice. I'm trying very hard to remember what it was like in the Spirit origin last time. Besides, I need to save my strength for you-know-what. Please help me, Fluffy Master. Master, Altera! I turned on the simulator like you asked, but what do you plan to do in there? Well, hunt and enjoy the Winter Wonderland, of course, but first I need to recharge my Santa power. Santa power, eh? Don't think too hard on it, young man. You just need to believe in Santa and be careful not to get hurt. Now we can start by getting me accustomed to this body again. The first step is reclaiming my Santa power. Or, at least, so I'm told. I take it this means she wants to adjust her spirit origin to Santa Claus, Archer. Now let us be off. I shall soon fill my cane with dreams, assemble rainbows, and fly across the sky. Your second opponent just has Dondozo Tatsugiri combo and you hate it, you couldn't KO the Dondozo. I wonder if they're going to introduce more duos, like proper duo Pokemon that synergize like that going forwards. It would be interesting if they did. Was not expecting Altera the Santa here, I will admit. Right, got that one into Game 3 as well. Okay, so you lost 2 rounds, but then you took the rest of the wins in your bracket, essentially. I get ya. I get ya. Well, still, well done. 4th place is respectable. 4th place is quite respectable. Do that. Deep. But it's impressive that you have a place where you can locally play competitive Pokemon. Yeah. I don't think there's anywhere quite like that around where I live. So that's pretty cool that you get the opportunity to do so. If I had that, I might have not given up on my ambitions to do competitive Pokemon back when X and Y came out 10 years ago or so. Man, time sure does fly, doesn't it? Makes one a little bit self-conscious of the passage of time. There's most likely a few. You only heard of it through a Facebook post. Okay, so I thought so it was not like an official store-sponsored thing, this local tournament that you went to. It wasn't something like sponsored by a store or something, it was just something that people put together. Holy God. Delicious H2O. Man, that reindeer does not like Brynhildr. Yeah, see, the main issue with that, though, is I don't really use Facebook. I don't use social media that much in general. I do need to start at least doing so more. Like, one of the things for my courses is it feels like it's pushing me to work on making a LinkedIn at some point. So that's going to be interesting to do. Because I've never done anything with LinkedIn or the like. That Pokemon Company has a page called Event Locator. I will have to check that out. We'll have to check that out. Pokemon Event Locator. Let's see. Enter my postcode. But I'm not gonna say it out loud. I completely forgot that her NP was calling a bunch of sheep down. Looks like there's a Pokemon League or something like that. Not sure what that really entails, though. Do that. Then do dot eat. Yeah, there's only like 4 events going on anytime soon for me. But it's a little bit late, I think, to try and get into the Scarlet and Violet competitive scene, considering Legend ZA is coming soon enough. Speaking of which, it is getting increasingly difficult to avoid any kind of spoilers for Legends ZA, which is kind of annoying. Yeah, it's annoying that I have to filter out Pokemon from my YouTube searches, because otherwise I'm getting all sorts of supposed leaks or spoilers for Pokemon Legends ZA. I don't want that. I want to go in blind as a bat. I want to know nothing about what to expect from Legends ZA. Try and see if there's a local Pokemon League, because the local event I went to was all community run by Pokemon League. Yeah, I might have to look into that. I know that my brother has recently expressed interest in trying to find a place that does stuff with Pokemon cards, because we did find some old, like, we were cleaning up a little bit, a closet to make room for storing some stuff, and we found an old laundry basket with just a ton of random playing cards. A lot of them are in absolute terrible condition, but there were some that were in pretty decent condition, and you know, we kind of want to see if we can't get them graded, but that's a whole process in and of itself. So we're looking into places that deal with those kinds of things. It could be interesting to do, but that's a future thing to worry about. That is definitely a future thing, because I mean, I still want to find some of my old Pokemon cards that I know I had in a binder, because I'm almost positive that at one point I had one of those super rare, super expensive Charizards. I'm almost positive I have one. Did you ever gain enough Santa power? I'll need more Santa power if I'm going to give Brynhildr her present. I think I'll stay here a little longer and try to gain more Santa power. But we shouldn't push ourselves too hard. Let's take a break, Master. I'll make an igloo so we can warm up. Yeah, I've seen that, but it's more of a question. The cards that we found that we want to have taken a look at, they're not standard trading cards. They're like, I mean, you guys already call me old, but they're like from the initial release of the Pokemon Mewtwo movie back in theaters. How they had those like cardboard punch-out cards or whatever that had movie scenes and stuff on the back. I think they were like from some fast food restaurant or something, and they can go for quite a bit of money if they're in good shape. And we got some that are in pretty good shape, so we're kind of hoping to get those graded, but GameStop wouldn't grade those kinds of cards. According to legend, Brynhildr and Altera were family. It's said that Brynhildr was the younger sister of King Atli, who many believe is based on Attila the Hun. I heard stories up to that effect before, but I can't speak to it myself. One of them said I married a princess after her husband was killed. I think his name was Sigurd, something along those lines. Oh, right. So, Brynhildr and all the Valkyries are somewhat related to Altera because they were made from the corpse of the White Titan, I believe. No, I really don't remember any of that. I'm a fighter, not a lover. I can barely remember my wife at all, and I'm not even sure whether I had a sister or not. I do recall Elder Huns worrying about my successor, but I don't know anything about it myself. Something about this doesn't make sense. Altera, you're Attila the Hun, a figure from the 5th century. But the Norse legends from the Saga and the Edda, including the one Wagner wrote about Brynhildr, all came much later. So the timeline doesn't really seem to make sense. What do you mean? Yeah, I know GameStop isn't the one grading, but we took them in and they said that they wouldn't send them out to be graded. It was a weird interaction, so we're kind of like at a loss for how to get these things graded. Right, there's no way to reconcile the legends and stories. Maybe it was just that branch of GameStop that wouldn't do it. I don't know. First of all, Norse mythology has a legend regarding the end of gods, Ragnarok. It's said to be the last battle waged between the gods and monsters. This battle would bathe the world in fire and smash the ground into the sea. And by the end of the war, gods, monsters, and giants would all cease to be. You could call it another sort of an ending to the Age of Gods. In time, the Norse world began a new age of humans rather than one of gods. But it's unclear now whether Brynhildr's legend takes place before or after Ragnarok. Yep, the story of Brynhildr and Sigurd and her death took place after the Christian era began. That is, if it took place after the age of the end of gods. It'd mean that she and the other Valkyries had been collecting souls for a war that was long over. Yep, I recall you saying that before. I do recall that. You've heard of the Valkyries before, right? They were a group of female warriors tasked with collecting the souls of fallen heroes to serve in the final battle. Yep, I have the Valkyries, Da Vinci. Although I guess this technically takes place in the past, so I don't quite have them yet. I do not have Ortland yet. So you'd think that must mean Brynhildr came from the Age of Gods before Ragnarok, right? But as it turns out, yes, a number of contradictions emerged there, specifically Altera, aka Attila the Hun. There's just no way that a story about the King of the Huns from the 5th century would appear in a story that takes place during the Age of Gods and still make sense. So, well, you shouldn't take myth and legend at face value. You've got to go digging for the truth in them. For that matter, even in the world of Magecraft, which is all about finding secret truths, opinions are mixed as to what exactly Ragnarok happened. The most plausible theory puts it around 1000 BC. It says that the eruption of Mount Katla at the time was actually the fires of Muspelheim rampaging across the earth. And that in turn kicked off Ragnarok, the chain of events that led to the extinction of the Norse pantheon of gods, as well as the giants. Yep, if it comes to that, I will. But, I mean, within a couple of weeks here now, my classes will start taking place on Wednesdays and Thursday evenings, so that tends to be when a lot of local events go on. The fall of Norse civilization, huh? I forget, we know when Ragnarok technically happened in the Fate timeline. cannot remember when, though. We learned it in LB2, but I can't remember when. Yes, my first quarter technically ends here in... Yeah, no. Like, for the years that I did Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals, it was always on Thursday evenings. And even now, it's still on Thursday evenings at every game store. So, and just when I was looking up the Pokemon stuff, the event listings were on... Well, like I said, when I was looking up the Pokemon stuff, the event listings were all for on the 26th. So on Wednesday. So, yeah. I don't know how far out the events get scheduled on there, but suffice to say, if it's all on Wednesdays, then I'm not going to be able to do anything local. Fall of Norse civilization, huh? If we consider the Age of Gods to be a sort of civilization, then yes, you could say that. On the other hand, there is nothing in the geological record about large-scale eruption of Katla taking place prior to AD 930. But then, how could there be an entire texture How could that be without an entire texture misting? And by texture, I mean an entire layer of reality, a thin membrane covering this planet where our ecosystems exist. That's why the saga from the 9th century is the oldest known document we've got. Humanity took a long time to collect those stories depicting the Norse Age of Gods and the saga of the Eat and Ada. That does seem to be what they see in the world of magecraft. It took quite some time for mages to investigate and turn up anything about the eruption's aftermath and the end of the Norse Age of Gods. And yet there is a great deal of uncertainty about even that. Between all conjecture and interference necessary to arrive at the conclusion, the extent at which it is actually factual is very much still in doubt. Right, of course. Makes sense to me. I'm impressed you were able to follow along with them, Senpai. I know I brought this up, but I actually lost track of things. Somewhere around Muspelheim. Well, sure. If the carrier of the gods were to suddenly show up, that would certainly upend the general scholarly consensus on the subject. But that's just how it is. How most of the Age of God things go. You could count the ages we've been able to verify on one hand, and you wouldn't even need all of its fingers. Indeed. Brynhildr might know something about that time period, but she refuses to talk about it. More often than not, that's how it goes with heroic spirits and divine spirits. Not that I'm one to talk. Hey, Hawk, welcome to the stream. Hobby things. I was just talking about how Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals are on Thursday evenings for me, and because I have school on Thursday evenings for the next 2 weeks, and then Wednesday and Thursday evenings for the next 10 weeks following that, I can't really partake in any kind of local tournaments. That's all. Not much has really otherwise been spoken about. Like, I don't even know what the meta is in Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't even know if there's any new summoning mechanics for Yu-Gi-Oh! Yet. Are links still the newest thing? What's so funny? You're certainly no better, you know, or worse even. The truth is difficult to discern, as always. Right. What a difficult topic, but then again, it seems like the real problem is the timeline's not lining up. Any opinion? No, not really. More of a hunch than anything solid. A hunch? I can't say this for sure, but I'm guessing my origins have something to do with it. Your origins? You mean Attila the Huns? Oh. I don't really have a clear grasp on it myself, so it's hard to explain, but I believe you could think about it like this. Santa Claus is the Valkyrie's big sister. Santa flies across the sky with his reindeer, and if I'm not mistaken, the Valkyries fly around on winged horses. They're so similar, it can't be a coincidence. There, I've just overturned the consensus. Flawless logic there, Altera. Flawless logic. No, that was flawless logic. That was not Janta levels of ridiculous. That was flawless logic there, Mash. But Link still being the newest kinda sucks. I was hoping for something new at some point, but it feels like they've stagnated Master Duel. I don't know. Never mind that. Replenishing my Santa power comes first. There, I see more enemies. That's it, Christmas fairies. Help me remember the spirit of Christmas. It's more than a little embarrassing to be wearing an outfit like this and not be at all feverish. Now I'm counting on you fairies to blow that embarrassment right out of me. The red-haired scam artist. I think that's who Zahak is referring to. Takasugi Shinsaku. Takasugi Shinsaku. Takasugi Shinsaku. Focus the Berserker down with a Buster Blast. Did you specifically roll for him, by the way, Zahak? Or did you go more for the CEs than anything, out of curiosity? Because I didn't really care for him as far as a character goes, so I didn't bother to roll, personally. More for the CEs. That's kind of what I expected. I'm conserving my quartz, too, because I need to be conservative with my quartz just in case any cool banners end up showing up in the future. Like the Ordeal Call poster, the female servant on the Ordeal Call poster, she has my attention, at the very least. I kind of think that's all I can really say other than that. The female servant on the Ordeal Call poster has my attention. Yeah. I mean, beyond that, summer this year, I know I want to roll on, because the summer fairy nights are awesome, and I want them all. But beyond summer, it's a blind year for me. Whoopee. New meta has an archetype based off of Devil May Cry. Yeah, I don't really know much about Devil May Cry to make any kind of judgment there. So, you're kind of just talking to the wind as far as that goes when it comes to me. Like, the main character's name is, like, Virgil, I think, isn't it? That's the MC of Devil May Cry, right? Dante, no. Who's your favorite box art legend, or Mewtwo, Calyrex, Eternatus, or Terapagos? Favorite box art legend. Charizard, because he's the box art for Pokemon Red. But, in all seriousness, Solgaleo, I'd say. Probably Solgaleo. Or Giratina, between those two. Solgaleo or Giratina, I would say, are my favorites. Doop. Doop. Stop. Deep. And Doot. Dot. There we go. Virgil is the twin. Big female leads are Trish and Lady. A demon that looks like his mother. That's sure to cause a lot of messed up feelings. The archetype is called Fiendsmith. Hey, I mean, J6, you've expressed a lot of liking for Devil May Cry. Maybe this is how you get into Yu-Gi-Oh! Is by playing an archetype, based on Devil May Cry, you know? Maybe. Think about it. You like Devil May Cry. Yu-Gi-Oh! Apparently likes Devil May Cry enough to make an archetype based around them. Sounds like a match made in heaven to me. Altera the Sense of support, you're not the strongest servant. Just saying it now. We can always get double MPs here. That hopefully should be good order. Hopefully is the key word here. But yeah, I mean, getting into Devil May Cry, I've got so many games I'm working on right now. Like, Metaphor ReFantasio has taken a lot of my time up lately. And I just recently purchased some other games as well. Planet Crafter seems like it could be fun. V Rising seems like it could be fun. I've got those games as well. Okay, I technically got them for Christmas, but, you know, yeah, it takes some time to get to games, okay? Takes some time. But I've got a lot of games on my plate. I don't really have room for new ones, unfortunately. And Night Rain is coming out, like, 2 months from now. So that's gonna take a lot of time as well. That is gonna take a lot of my time as Night Rain, I feel. Maybe. I'm also close to finishing Binding of Isaac. I've only got 4 more characters to do until I have all completion marks on all characters. There, that should do it. I was worried that without Doomsy here, I might just be my normal self in this strange costume. But fortunately, I was able to restore both my Archer Spirit Origin and my Santa Claus power. At least, I think. You think? At any rate, my Santa power should now be more than sufficient to bring Brynhildr her present. Now let us be on our way. This is where Santa's work truly begins. You went through some old games, found you have Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 4 on PlayStation, and 5 on PC. No, 3. Interesting. You have quite the collection there, J6. Nothing wrong with that, though. Like, I can't even tell you how many old games I've got sitting around for old systems. Is she out? Oh, there you are. Why are you just staying in a corner like that? It's very strange. In any case, Brynhildr, I'm sorry it took so long, but Santa Claus has finally come to town. I was about to say, uh-oh, Shadowy Bryn, that's not good. But no, then she suddenly got her colors in. I'm so sorry, you came all the way to my room and I didn't even bother to greet you. Master, and you. Ho ho ho! Santa Claus is here, even out of season. I never did bring you a present, so here I am to remedy that now. And lucky for you, young lady, I have just the thing for a very beautiful, very sad woman. I already made my decision. I'll not let myself be a bother to Master any longer. I may not be able to stabilize my existence, but I can at least make sure I don't get in everyone's way. Again, Brynhildr will just summon Sigurd, and you can stab him. He's fine with it. The two of you are very clearly in love, and while a lot of people might not approve of your relationship goals, you know what? As long as you're both perfectly fine with it, then it's cool. That's why I asked for a leave of ab. Denied! Not to worry, whatever is wrong with your spirit origin, I'll fix it. Ho ho ho! I may have once been known as the Whip of God, but today is different. Today as I am Santa Claus off-season, I'm here to smack you with the Whip of Love. Or more accurately, I'm going to punch you. A punch. Oops, scratch that. I mean, whap you with my cane. Just a little bunk on the head, nothing to worry about. Once I smack you with my cane, there will be some stars, and you'll feel better right away. Bonking? Stars? That sounds like something out of a comic book. Yes, it does. But this is Chaldea, so no surprises. But Altera, how can just hitting someone would be anything but... Don't worry, she and I have much in common, so I know how she feels. Fair. And she looks like a delicate flower, but she's actually very tough at heart. Since she's focused her skills and stats on combat, she should eventually remember her true spirit origin if we fight her in earnest. Santa isn't violent. Yeah, Santa's not violent, you know. Don't worry, I have no plans of destroying her. Even though, to be fair, Santa Claus could qualify for Grand Assassin. Let's be honest here. Santa Claus could be a Grand Assassin servant. I mean, he can travel to millions of houses in a single night. He knows when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows when you've been bad or good. And he can get in and out of people's houses, leaving stuff behind with people only wiser when morning comes around. Santa Claus could be the ultimate Grand Assassin. Random tangent over. So we're going to fight. If you command me to fight, Master, I will obey. I have this form solely to be your servant. Whatever your orders, I will obey. Yes, I will follow you to the ends of the earth. I'm happy to fight by your side, Master. I'm happy to be your opponent, too. Use my skills however you must, Master. If you insist on fighting, at least go to the simulator. Rooms are not designed for combat training. Da Vinci, would you mind preparing the simulator right away? I think we're about to have a battle. I had a feeling we might, so it's all warmed up. Come on down whenever you're ready. Right, Senpai. Off to the simulator! Very well, let us be off, Brynhildr. This is your chance to truly cut loose. I can take whatever you throw at me. My king's rainbow shall soon set you free from the unease that weighs upon your heart. Yeah, I don't follow the... You guys are very clearly into the lore of Devil May Cry, and I'm not following in the slightest. Alright, I cannot pass up this opportunity to do an NP blast right off the bat. Brynhildr versus Brynhildr. That. Of that. Yes, I do have Netflix. I am currently in the midst of watching One Piece. I am in the Dressrosa arc right now. That is where I currently am at with One Piece on Netflix. But I will be honest, I've not watched it recently, simply because of the fact that Solo Leveling has been taking most of my anime attention span, because Solo Leveling is awesome. And it's been kind of a every Saturday go onto the website, wait for it to properly load because of how much traffic it is freaking getting. It's good. It's good. I'm sad that Solo Leveling is going to be done this Saturday. I do hope that they announce Season 3 soon. Although, I don't think I've got as much hopes for it to be announced soon as much as my brother, who is of the opinion that they should just... If an anime is good, they should just make it be weekly until they're out of material and it's done. Like, I try to explain to him that's not how anime works. It's all about the money, 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 but it would be nice, admittedly. But it's never gonna happen. Devil May Cry anime coming on the 3rd. Is it being made by a good studio, do you know, Zahak? Like, is a good studio making it? Send me a link to the trailer. Okay, yeah. I will take a look at the trailer at the very least. At the very least, I shall take a look at the trailer. Nothing wrong with that. Because, I mean, there are a lot of popular anime that I just can't get into. Like, I tried getting into Jujutsu Kaisen. I made it, like, halfway through Season 1 and just kind of gave up on it. Because, honestly, the MC was kind of annoying. Even the occasional Gojo stuff didn't save it for me. So, I don't know. I'll give it a look, see. Because like I said, Solo Leveling is ending on Saturday, so I will have a free spot to watch anime. But One Piece is I'm going to try and get through Dressrosa One Piece. So that way, whenever the next arc finally gets released on Netflix, I can watch that. Because otherwise, my anime prospects are really slim. You hated Jujutsu, so opinion on the latest episode of Solo Leveling. You want my opinion, or you have an opinion, J6? Because my opinion was that the latest episode of Solo Leveling was amazing. Like, the fight sequence was up there with some of the fight sequences from Unlimited Blade Works. You can definitely tell that they have polished their animations. That was some amazing fighting. Like, it just makes me... I almost wish that Dragon Ball Super, as great as Dragon Ball Super was, the art style, I almost wish it was in the same kind of art style as Solo Leveling. Because I'm just imagining the Goku versus Jiren fight at the end of Dragon Ball Super with that style of animation, and it would be so cool. But honestly, I think that Jinwoo versus the Ant King was an amazing fight. I do understand that there are differences between the manhwa and the anime as well. I've been watching another YouTuber, Annie News, and he's been like doing weekly breakdowns of differences between what the anime shows and what the manhwa and light novels show. And I think I do, like, based on the differences he's pointed out so far, I do think I prefer the anime's interpretation of things. Just because it feels like in the light novel and manhwa, it almost feels like Jinwoo's had too easy of a time so far. And I like seeing him struggle. It makes the fights more tense, you know? Like, you know he's going to win, but seeing how close the fight becomes, that really just ups the hype factor, you know? There we go. I'll admit, I was a bit worried when you broke out the runic flame, but I'm glad to see you've returned to your former sharpness. Ho ho ho. That is as it should be. Your sphere is free of uncertainty. Lady Altera. Uh-huh. I'm so sorry, Valkyrie. I wish I could remember your name and face, but I cannot. But, though it may only be a hazy fragment of something much larger now, if there truly was once a great Norse god we both worshipped, and if I truly was a big sister to you and the other Valkyries, excuse me, then I think that would make me happy and proud. Brynhildr, my sister. Live in beauty, Battle Maiden. Please, don't go around looking so forlorn. Hold your head up high. You and others may have met tragic ends in myth, but I think that is what makes you so beautiful. I'm sure you lived a full life. If I close my eyes, I can see you so clearly running across grassy plains. So please don't feel so ashamed. Divine spirits, heroic spirits, servants, we all feel out of sorts at times. So when you have a problem, don't be afraid to ask for help. There is nothing wrong with that. I promise you our master and the rest of Chaldea are more than strong enough to accommodate any difficulties that the servants may be having. He won't crumble beneath the weight of if some of us must lean on him for support, right, Master? No, I definitely won't crumble under that weight. I have the weight of many dead worlds on my back in the future. In the fight against the ant is more overwhelmed in the manhwa. Like see, that's what I said. Like, I prefer it when there is a actual struggle for the MC. I don't want to just watch MC curb stomp absolutely everything in their path. I mean, overpowered MCs are good, but only if they're done right. Having them earn that power and show progression, have difficult fights, that I feel like that makes a good protagonist. You need to see them actually struggle. If they go up against something that easily if they no diff something that easily wiped out all, say for example, in the manhwa, it sounds like Jinwoo might have no diffed the Ant King, who had who no diffed all the S-rank hunters. That kind of feels lame to me, but having the fight be a mid-difficulty fight, that makes it more pleasing to see when he succeeds, you know? Isn't that most shonen shows? The protagonist overcoming adversity and slowly earning their power? Not to a degree, yes, but it does feel like more lately, lately with a lot of shonen stuff, it feels like the MC is just, like, gifted this great power and instantly masters it and becomes super strong and OP and everything. You know? That's kind of like, that's why I like, of all anime, the original Dragon Ball Z the best. Just because there was training arcs, and Goku didn't win everything. You had to see him growing stronger and stronger still. The growing the despair the ant had was more intense. I mean, to be fair, there was not a lot of dialogue in the fight between Jinwoo and the ant, but I think that was good. Like, they showed more than they told. It was definitely a show don't tell that they did with the anime, which I think works better for the medium that is anime, because they don't have to have all these lines of introspection. Like, they don't have to have it so that when Jinwoo first cuts off the ant's arms, that he can sense that the ant is growing desperate or anything. They showed that desperation, you know? Master, of course, I'm here too, and I think we'll need to keep talking about this, sister. Otherwise, when your beloved makes his way to Chaldea one day, you might not be able to make full use of your spear. And that would be a terrible waste, wouldn't it? ... You're right, Lady Altera. Thank you so much. I promise I'll shape up. I see now that I must do better. Yes, I'd almost forgotten who I really was. One day I know I will take my beloved Sigurd in my arms and kill him with my spear. Whoa, 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 whoa. Right. I don't want to make trouble for you, Master. I only want to be useful. So I will continue to do my best. Next time, I'll do better. From now on, I'll always make sure to be completely open with you about what is happening. I will neither hide nor run away. As long as it's okay with you, Master. Wasn't much dialogue in the manhwa, but the despairing ant scene was more tense. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, there is some good memes that have come out of the anime, the most recent episode. I can't remember the exact source, but somebody did, like, they reshowed the fight between Jinwoo and the Ant King, but they had the cameraman just, like, always there in the background, keeping pace despite the insane movements and everything, because he's filming all this, and we're, like, seeing the anime from the cameraman's perspective, and he's just going so fast. It was great. Gotta love how memes can develop sometimes. Cameraman is the secret S rank, just because he can keep up with Jinwoo. Glad to have you beside me, Brynhildr. I know I've kind of been ignoring the interlude in favor of talking about other topics, but I have a vague idea of what happened. There we go. I'd say that's another case closed. Yes, the battle's over now. I'll return the simulator to its default settings. Master, Brynhildr, Altera, great work today. I just made a fresh pot of coffee, so why don't you all come have a cup? Let's go, Brynhildr. Yes, Master, as you wish. I like how her expression shifted to a soft smile. Very subtle shift of expression, but very appreciated. Skill will rank up. Hero's Assistant C has become Hero's Assistant C++. Now also boosts crit strength and an even greater crit star gather rate. And now to the final interlude of the day, Geronimo! Another 3-arrow interlude. This time with a servant I don't really use all that often. I have no idea what to expect with Geronimo. I know that he is not a very powerful servant, though. This might be a little bit more on the difficult side as far as interludes go. They haven't really shown that impact. They might be saving it for the next episode, though, because, I mean, as far as I'm aware, the main action is done. So, and the next episode is the finale of Season 2. So while there is probably going to be some setup for the next season, they also have to do, like, reactions of the public watching what is going on. And they might do that in the next episode. I don't know. All that really is left is the fact that Cha is dying and the aftermath of all this. That's all that's really left to cover, and I don't see that taking too long. A paved road, a faint, foul odor. No grass or earth. An ominous place covered with cold stones. I suppose even the fog that's been dirtied by science conceals magecraft. So this is 19th century London. Truly distasteful, but not bad either. Huh? Geronimo? Which is it? I'm just saying it's not bad. By the way, Master, sorry to trouble you. I'm sorry I was so selfish in asking you to come here. I don't mind, but why did you want me to come here? It's the home of modern magecraft, correct? I never had the chance to cross the sea in my lifetime. Our magecraft and their magecraft split apart completely in history. On the other hand, there are many similarities as well, and let us set aside discussions for which is the original for the time being. I've always wanted to take a look. Now, are there any rituals worthy of study? But first, spirits. We often borrow the power of spirits, but this is a low-class one. It never occurred to me that we would encounter such a spirit the instant we set foot here, though. I see London and death are quite intimate in this time. If you would kindly help us fight. Fight. There's no reason not to just ignore something so weak. Weak, fragile, fleeting. It doesn't possess the strong emotions, grudges, or regrets normally so important to ghosts. It likely died in a freak accident and something tied it to this place. And then I expected it was woken by the demonic fog that blanketed the city. Besides, take a look at the insubstantial figure. It is practically advertising its weakness. Honestly, it's not worth involving ourselves. It may be a ghost, but it's hardly important. It evolved! You did that on purpose. Well, yes, I suppose. To be honest, it'd be disingenuous of me to say I wasn't hoping for something like this. I wanted to see what an English ghost would do if they got serious. Either way, my apologies. I'd like you to accompany me in some, shall we say, ghost busting. Understood. Master, your command, please. I mean, I do know, back on the solo leveling topic, I do know that there is some differences between the manhwa and the anime, like, beyond what is obvious. Like I said, the Ani-News guy said something about how in the original manhwa, the Japanese hunters were, like, completely planning to betray the Korean hunters or something, and that was almost entirely cut from the anime, but, I mean, considering a Japanese studio is developing solo leveling, I can't really foresee them, you know, including some very, non-patriotic stuff for Japan in their anime, you know. I can't see them having been okay with having that kind of, with, like, trying to air that kind of stuff. So I can understand that kind of change, you know, but beyond that, I'm fine with how the changes have been going. And I look forward to Season 3, and I just hope that more anime get more sequel seasons that have been long awaited. Very, very long awaited anime still waiting on sequel seasons. But, I mean, that's how it is sometimes with anime. You get invested in a story, and they say that it's been approved for Season 2, and no Season 2 is quick to come. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there in anime land. Dog-eat-dog world. But who knows? Maybe someday those anime will get their sequels, and then I'll watch them and be happy. Geronimo! What kind of NP do you have? You have an arts-based NP, so get arts boosted. And your skills are all... That's right. Only boost for one turn. One color, one turn. Truly, Geronimo has the worst kit in the game. And that sucks. They really did Geronimo dirty here. Really did it dirty. They need to update his kit a little bit, I think. But yeah, I don't foresee this interlude taking too long, just because it is an early game interlude. So, after his interlude, we're going to be calling stream. But, who knows? I could be wrong. Could take a while. I see. There are exponentially more spirits here than in the land where I lived. And I wonder what else is here. Let's keep looking around. Wow, Geronimo seems like he's having a good time. Is he the sort who's taken in by new and different things? I think he is. Mash. I think he is. This bounded field of technique is impressive. It's so intricately constructed and appropriate for a small island nation like this. It's like a fine Persian rug. Such wonderful detail. Not gonna say it. The fields that we created were quite crude. However, even if one is intricately constructed... Ah, yes. Unfortunately, the mage who constructed this seems to have been somewhat lacking in terms of power. If that is the best they could do, my field would have still been better. What are you doing? Someone erected a field here, so I destroyed it. Now then, who or what will show up? Who are you? This is my territory. You just destroyed the concealment right I worked so hard on. We are merely travelers. I see no sense in you putting up a bounded field in a place like this. Who the hell are you? You're a foreigner. In addition to that, I'm not human. At least not anymore. Either way, you are also a budding mage. Am I correct in pointing out that you have already abandoned being human as well? Answer my question. Who the hell are you? By the way, would you mind telling me why it is you put a field here? For example, was your intention to conduct a sacrifice ritual using those children standing behind you? Sacrifices? Fortunately, I didn't want to involve tourists, but I cannot let you leave alive. On the contrary, then this will have been your ill fortune. Had it been some other mage, then I might have tried to steal the fruits of your efforts, but they're not likely to impede your progress. Or rather, if this was truly your territory, they might have avoided this area altogether. Wherever you may go, most people prefer to avoid conflict with people with whom they have no connection. However, unfortunately for you, the ones who happened by were myself and Master. I'm afraid we're not good enough mages to allow such egregious behavior to be ignored. That in turn means that you have no opportunity to explain yourself or negotiate. You must die right here. The hell I will. Transformed. I see. How fitting in a city like London, he's a werewolf. However, this is merely superficial transformation using newer magecraft techniques. His kind is nothing compared to the phantasmals who are said to have lived since the Age of Gods. The coyote from my nation would be a better adversary. Well, if he intends to fight, I have no choice. Let's muzzle this beast, shall we? Yeah, boy. Goal is to have the Korean at strength get wiped, weaken Korea, have JP come back full force, finish the raid, so JP status grows. Way go to be recognized Japanese frontier as... Yeah. Yep, I understand the whole premise of what the scheme was. I do. I do get the premise, but... Still, it's definitely something that I can see the reason why it was cut from the anime. Maybe if the anime was produced fully in Korea, it might not have been cut, but, you know, a Japanese anime is always going to cut stuff that is very heavily negative Japanese, much like how American dubbing mangles stuff, you know? Can't forget jelly donuts. Jelly donuts are amazing. Yeah, I know. I know that was adapted by A1, but the point stands. I'm pretty sure that one of the biggest... Yeah, and again, we don't know the full motives. It might have been to, like, not cause any tension or something. Or it might have been that the author just wanted to change their mind on, you know, how things went and saw this as an opportunity to do so. Don't know. But overall, I think the change is fine. I've enjoyed the story, and I'm looking forward to more. What I'm also looking forward to is more Fate Strange Fake. That anime needs to keep coming out, man. I need the Strange Fate. Go, Geronimo, go! Fate Strange Fake? Yeah, at the very least they've had one episode. Yeah, they've had, they had like a promo episode. Episode 0 and Episode 1. We have 2 episodes of Fate Strange Fake. Episode 0 and Episode 1 so far. And that's kind of all we have right now. No news on Episode 2 just yet. absolutely no news. Which kind of sucks, but I can be patient. I can wait. And that's that. Impossible, I worked so hard. My clan's oldest wish, the recreation of a divine beast, to be hindered at the first step. I warned you, the structure of your rite was composed poorly. Now, release those children. No, they would be terrified by the sight of me. I believe you are the best for the job. If you would, Master, I leave it to you. What? Why, you... I have no choice but to offer my own life. Summoning circle. Take care, Master. Something is coming forth. Devour my own life and answer my call. I see. This is due to the disorder in the ages. Even in modern times like this one, the instability in the world is enough to allow for the summoning of ancient beasts. I'm not a fool. I'm the smartest in my village. A genius bursting with knowledge. And this is proof. Now my clan's wishes will be fulfilled. It's a boar. No, I was trying to call forth something more divine. Fool. An attempt to summon a divine spirit in London, where the foundations of humanity are so unstable, is doomed to failure. The only possible result would be monsters drenched in blood, full of rage. How embarrassing. I want to go back to my village. You, mage, I have a favor to ask of you. Please get rid of that. We never meant to plunge the world into chaos. I have no arguments there. You just rest in peace now. Geronimo has no hope, but Solgaleo can have a nice role. It's mostly a chat. No, the sun will beat the moon. Solgaleo forever. Solgaleo over Lunala. What a selfish mage. But now that he's summoned that thing, we have to deal with it. It certainly doesn't appear that we will be able to reason with it and convince it to return whence it came. That being the case, Master, we shall shine the dazzling brightness of the sun into London's night and incinerate all that is evil. I'm going to use my noble phantasm. Master, I'm leaving the moment to unleash it up to you. Let's go. Well, of course you're leaving it up to me. I'm the only one that can give you the charge for your NP. It's actually kind of a shame to hear Geronimo's not that good. Kind of a shame. I think I'm gonna do it this way. Why not? By the power of my command spell, Geronimo. NP. Come on, Geronimo, that was nothing! Alright, we'll try again. This time I shouldn't need a command spell, though, Geronimo. By the power of my command skill, Geronimo, kill this boar. Geronimo was never good, considering how it's forced to hold Grecia's orb to go into Origin. Even then, it's not great. Yeah, it's a shame that Geronimo needs to hold an item to go into Grecia's mode. Or into Origin form. Yeah, tongue got tied there. But still, Geronimo is so cool. It combines two of my top types together. Type number 4 and type number 1 are combined in Giratina. Yeah, I'm gonna use another command spell. Why not? If you don't use them, you lose them. Not really, but doesn't hurt. Yeah. Dragon, Psychic, Fire, Ghost. Those are the top 4. Not even sure what the 5th one is. Who's my 5th favorite type? I don't know. I'd have to actually think on that one. And that's that done. I mean, if you hadn't said box art and only a few other select legendaries, I would have said one of the Lotties. Are the Lotties any good? It's finally over. I was sadly unable to complete my tour of London. We should lightly hypnotize the children and send them home with no memory of this. We wouldn't want them to draw Mage's attention by mentioning anything strange, would we? The biggest issue is, whenever I hypnotize someone, I must use cigarettes to do so. But you say that underage children mustn't smoke, yes? Yeah, no smoking for anybody. That's quite the conundrum. I suppose I should consult with Miss Da Vinci on this. Yeah, Geronimo, no getting kids addicted to nicotine. Don't smoke. If there are any kids possibly watching this, do not smoke. So his NP pretty much just got stronger. And that's kind of it. He speaks in a calm, reasoned voice, his thoughts are ordered, and he remains collected at all times. He will usually treat Master with due respect. However, once you get him mad, there's no stopping him. There's a reason he was once called the Red Devil, and feared by soldiers everywhere. Alright. So, with that interlude complete, I think I will be calling today's stream here. I know there's going to be a announcement on this Friday, Thursday, Friday, so maybe we'll be getting a new event soon. Who knows? I certainly don't, but we will find out later. For now, I think I'm going to call this stream here. So, I have been SoulWrecked, I hope you've all enjoyed today's stream. If you had, please leave me some feedback in whichever way you so see fit. If you want to check out more by me, be sure to check out my channel here on Twitch or YouTube. Same name, same game, there's plenty of content for all to enjoy. Once again, thank you all so much for coming out. I hope you enjoyed. Have a fantastic evening, everybody.